James, the book of Mark chapter 9, verse 14 to 29. The book of Mark chapter 9, verse 14 to 29. If you read the New King James Version, please help us to read, and then we will go into the gist of the matter. Mark chapter 9, verse 14 to 19. Anybody who has it can read for us. Amen.
Amen.
And when he came to the disciples, he saw a great multitude around them, and scribes disputing with them. Immediately when they saw him, all the people were greatly amazed, and running to him, greeted him. And he asked the scribes, "What are you discussing with them?" Then one of the crowd answered and said, "Teacher, I brought you my son, who has a mute spirit, and wherever it seizes him, it throws him down. He foams at the mouth, gnashes his teeth, and becomes rigid. So I spoke to your disciples that they should cast it out, but they could not."
Until verse 29.
He answered him and said, "O faithless generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I bear with you? Bring him to me." Then they brought him to him, and when he saw him, immediately the spirit convulsed him and fell on the ground and wallowed, foaming at the mouth.
29. Until 29.
So he asked his father, "How long has this been happening to him?" And he said, "From childhood. And often he was thrown him both into the fire and into the water to destroy him. But if you can do anything, have compassion on us and help us." Jesus said to him, "If you can believe, all things are possible to him who believes." Immediately the father of the child cried out and said with tears, "Lord, I believe. Help my unbelief." When Jesus saw that the people came running together, he rebuked the unclean spirit, saying to it, "Deaf and dumb spirit, I command you come out of him and enter him no more." Then the spirit cried out, convulsed him greatly, and came out of him. And he became as one dead, so that many said, "He is dead." But Jesus took him by the hand and lifted him up, and he arose. And when he had come into the house, his disciples asked him privately, "Why could we not cast it out?" So he said to them, "This kind can come out by nothing but prayer and fasting."
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Father, we thank you for the reading of your word. Thank you for the cleansing of your word. Thank you that your word is pure. Thank you that your word, God, is exalted above everything else. Thank you that heaven and earth shall pass away, but your word shall remain. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We pray, Father, in the name of Jesus, that even as we have read your word and your word has come out to your people, I ask, oh God, as I stand before your holy presence, would you no matter what, that you will anoint my lips, oh God, in Jesus' name. May you take, Father, the weakness in me and allow your word to be above who I am. In Jesus' name I pray. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Amen. I intend to teach today. I intend to bring it down because my desire with the message that I have in my heart is for you to understand, because every time the desire of every preacher or the person that sends the word out is that you take the word and it works for you.
Amen.
Yeah, God calling to the government and then you jump up, but it does not help you. It's of no use. So my desire, when I teach, I desire to teach. When I teach the word, it can apply to your life. You can take the word and say, "Let me apply it. Let me see it in my Monday, in my Tuesday, during the week, in my family life, in my personal life. May the word change me." So that is my intention, to literally just a little bit tone down and say that as the way we are Amen. So based on the scripture that we have read, my goal, my desire, at the end of it, when we finish it, there are three things that I want you to have, or to have got the message, to establish the message. The first thing is that I desire that you may know what to do when you have to deal with deep and long-seated problems. I desire that, based on the scripture. After we have said amen and we are going, my desire is that you will know what to do when you have to deal with deep and long-seated problems. And then also, I desire desire that you will know how Jesus uses this experience of where we have read, that he had to teach us how to deal with complex situations. And I desire that we can take this, because it seems as if it was taken to the disciples, but we can take it upon ourselves and say, what is it that Jesus is actually teaching us when we have to deal with complex situations? We know, all of us, there are things that we know we are dealing with, and they are very complex. And the last thing that I want us to get is that I want you to get the 3 powerful tools that Jesus places emphasis on in order to deal with problems. He outlines tools, he gives us tools to say, when you are dealing with complex situations, these are the tools that I need you to use. So that is why I'm saying, I pray that the teaching spirit in me will come up so that I can be clear of the message itself. It shouldn't just be worried, there's a clapping of hands, there's an excitement, but at the end of the day, you actually don't understand what is it really going to teach you about breaking. I always laugh, most of us, all of us, and somebody says, what was the teaching? So you are basically saying, yes, because remember where the word of God is preached, the presence of God is there.
Amen.
But are you hearing what the Spirit is saying to you? Are you able to grasp everything that God is saying to you? More than what? You know, am I able to take? It's of no use, for us to come to church every Sunday if this thing does not work for us.
Yeah.
It has to work to my personal life. It has to work in my family. It has to work in my church. It has to work in my work. It has to produce something, because the Word of God produces. So at the end of the teaching, my desire is that for get something where you can say, I had the Word, and can I a complex situation, can I a long-seated problem in my life, and based on the Word, this is how I'm going to apply it in my life. Amen. Amen. So that we can be clear on that. So therefore, I have entitled this message, How to Solve Deep and Long-Seated Problems Using the Right Tools.
Amen.
How to solve deep and long-seated problems using the right tools. You've eaten my time, so I'm really trying to contain myself so that I don't take time explaining other things. So the title is, How do I solve? So when somebody gives the title to say how, in other words, they are going to give you a solution. Yes. That's what you must grasp. Because at the end of the day, if I put the title with the how, and I don't address it on how and give you the tools to say how, therefore I have failed as a teacher from the other side. So the message that I'm bringing today, or the message from Jubilee today is, I understand I've got deep and long-seated problems, but what are the tools that I can use to resolve this based on the scripture that we have read? Hallelujah.
Amen.
Let us go to the background of Mark chapter 9. We have read from Mark chapter 9. Again, we understood the story itself. Again,
Amen.
the background part of it, the whole of Mark chapter 9, Jesus teaches that, it teaches us that Jesus took 3 of his disciples. That was Peter, that was James, and that was John, to the Mount of Transfiguration, where the disciples had a supernatural experience. So Muralageso goes with Peter, he goes with James, he goes with John to this mountain. And when they are there, they have a supernatural experience. The supernatural experience that they get there is that they saw Jesus. They went by 4. It's them, the 3, and Muralageso. What marvels them is that they saw Jesus along with Elijah and Moses. So for them it was a wow. It was like, what on earth is happening? The experience was, when you are in the presence of God, the goosebumps that you hear. So that's what they were feeling, Peter, James, and John, because and all of a sudden, remember, this is the New Testament. That means they've never seen Moses. They've never seen Elijah, but somehow they know that this is Elijah and this is Moses. So that is the supernatural experience that they have. Based on that, Peter, excited as he is, he says, Harisaya anyway, we are sitting here. And that is why we could understand what Peter was saying. Morena, where do you want us to go? After this, what do you want us to do? We are in the midst of greatness.
Yeah.
We are seeing our forefather Elijah. We are seeing Moses in our midst. You want us to return no ways. Can we see the presence? May we pursue nothing else but the presence of God. May we pursue to find ourselves sitting. And that presence, it comes when you take time to sit with the Lord in your life. You can have that supernatural experience. I cannot say you will see Elijah. I cannot say you will see Moses. But what I can promise is that you will see. You will see the things that you say, can I build a tent? Because where I am, I want nothing else. I worry about nothing else. I worry about no debts. I worry about nothing, no bills. All I'm feeling on, all I have is the presence of God. May we pursue that as Baba would do. Amen. Moving to verse 14, where we have read, which is our lesson today. When they came down, unfortunately, this is not our destination. The experience, yes, we have, but this is not everything that it has. So unfortunately, they had to come down. And when they came down from the Mount of Transfiguration, they found out that the disciples who remained behind encountered a challenge or a problem. Remember, Midrand did not take all of them. He only took who? Peter, James, and John. So there were other disciples who were left behind. So Peter, John, James, and Jesus, when they came down from the mountain, they found out for the disciples who were left behind, they encountered a challenge. They encountered a problem. And what is the problem? According to what we have read, the Father had brought the child to the disciples to pray for his healing. But the child was not healed. So the disciples were not getting the expected results. This for them, it was a bit confusing. It was because according to when we read the book of Luke chapter 10, verse 1 to 17, remember Jesus used to send his disciples and they will come back with excitement to say, and this is the statement on that verse that they will normally say, the demons are subject to us in the name of Jesus. So in other words, Midrand will send them and say, go heal the sick, go pray. And they will come back with excitement for just in us saying, in the name of Jesus, the demons are coming out, people are getting healed. So they will come with that excitement. Somehow, with this condition, they were like, what is happening? Because this is the formula that we know we are using, and it has worked. We have the results that it has worked. But while on this situation, particularly on this situation, it did not work. Remember how I just on Alice, so they used what they know. They referred to what they know. We will do this and this will be the result. Somehow, more or less the same situation comes. They do what they know, they do what they have been taught, but they don't get the results. So they are a bit confused and they are a bit discouraged. But then Jesus capitalizes on the situation to teach them a lesson. And this is the design. Please get the lesson today. Jesus capitalizes on that to say, you have prayed for a situation in your life. Yes. You know certain situation, you lay hands upon the sick, and somehow the sick just gets recovered. You plant a seed, miraculously, somebody gives you money. Something happens, but this particular problem we're talking about, no matter what you do, things just don't change. Nothing happens. So Jesus capitalizes on that. Jesus takes a moment on that to say, let me teach them. Let me show them what the situation is fine. And it's not one pattern for all. You don't use one thing for everything. You have to know when a situation is complex, when a situation is like this, it's not like the other ones that we have dealt with. This is how I want you to deal with. And this is my desire to say, may you think of that long-seated problem that you know you have. I don't have to mention it. You know you have this one. You know you come to the house of the Lord excited, jumping, praising the Lord. But there is this problem that you know. I don't know what to do. May we take the same teaching that Jesus is giving the disciples today and apply it upon our lives. And let us therefore look at the formula that Jesus is giving them. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Am I okay so far?
Amen.
Amen. The first thing that Jesus teaches them is that when you deal with deep, and here, I think I'll keep on going back to the title. This is kind of not a normal circumstance in your life. So that is why I can go back to your life, go back to your family. Oh, who let the long-seated problems, oh, who let the things that we call them generational curses, those things that just don't move in your life. So today we are addressing those. We are not addressing anything else that will say, okay, let's plant a seed, I know this will happen. Let's lay a hand and then this will happen. Today we are dealing with those things that you are sitting with, those things that you are grappling with, those things that don't change in your life. Those are the things that I want them to come to the altar today as we do this teaching. So Jesus is saying the first thing, when you are dealing with a complex situation, when you are dealing with a deep, long-seated problem, the first thing that you have to do, identify the nature of the problem. Take the time to identify the nature of the problem before you seek to find the right solution. Identify the nature of the problem before you seek to find the right solution. Remember, he is God, and when we look at the history and we look at the way that he used to heal people, Christ will say, be healed. He will just lay hands upon people and people will get healed. Christ will put the mud, put things on the eyes of people. People's eyes will just see. Christ will just say, take the water, take that, mix it together, wine comes. He is God, he does that. But particularly on this one, why does he have to take time to understand the nature of the problem? Why does Christ go back and say, where's the heading, Kawan? Where's the heading? Where did it start? How did it start? Who shall guy? Why does he go to that point as if who scrutinized the problem before he knows he can heal the problem? He's God. He can just say things, they will just, but on this particular, he scrutinizes the issue. So he's basically saying to us, there are issues that you have put at the back of your mind. You put them there. You know there are issues in your life. You know there are issues in your family. He's saying today, take the time to identify the nature of the problem. Scrutinize the problem and say, what's a halango high when all the firstborns they just die? What's a halango high when all of us we go through the similar thing, whether we are born again, we are not born again. He's saying to you, take the time where not to sit and say, it's what God is saying. It's a guy. Who said this? And take that time. We where you can ask whoever, so that when you get the solution, you know how I will do. Because at the end of the day, Christ wants to heal that, he wants to change that. But do take the time to identify why this problem. Why am I going through the same thing over and over and over again? I plant a seed, I pray, I do this. This one, it just does not change. You don't run out. I'm going to take my time, scrutinize it, find out it's all right. Amen. So that is the first thing that Morena just saw at time. Amen. How does he scrutinize the situation? I love this message when God brought it to me, because I know the issues that have been in my life. So it's such a machine. And when I found this, I said, my goodness, what an opportunity. So if I we'll do it next week again, so I can't continue, we'll see how far we can go. This is how he scrutinizes the situation. He's saying, identify the nature. I think we have seen him, I scrutinize. This is how he scrutinized the situation. The first thing I scrutinized, I will say, he saw that there were multiple demonic activities. That's how he scrutinized it. How do we see it? He said there is a mute spirit. There is a deaf spirit. There is a dumb spirit. And when we read in the book of Matthew the same story, we realize that there's epilepsy. So he scrutinized to say, there are multiple demonic activities, and the spirit that I'm able to pick out from this child is the mute spirit, it is the deaf spirit, is the dumb spirit, and it's epilepsy. We scrutinize it. Then we have information. The second thing that is picking up high scrutinizer, or there were destructive physical manifestation. Or these spirits had the death, the dump, the epilepsy. Every time they manifest, they bring up destructive physical manifestation. Why? Because the boy would fall into water, he would fall into fire, and was not in control of himself. He convulsed at the mouth, and not happened to him. That proved, remember the aim of Satan is he came to kill, steal, and destroy. That is his purpose. Satan, how Shasel, these three things, he wants them to be accomplished in his life. So, for the destructive physical manifestation, yeah, this spirit on this little boy was just at the end of the day, I want to kill this child. Because Hemana fallen into water, he can drown. Yeah. If a child falls into fire, lo and behold, speed. That means the child the boy, the Bible says he was not in control of himself. So anything, he was, whenever this spirit manifested, he was prone to anything. The aim of Satan, the purpose of Satan was to kill him. The third thing, when Christ scrutinizes this, he found out that the problem has been a long established situation. So it has been sitting there for too long. And because it had been with the child for a long time. So, but I just always scrutinize. And this is the message I'm bringing. Go back, scrutinize the issue. You have seen it. You are 40 years old. You are still dealing with the same issue. Go back. Yeah. Go back, scrutinize it. Go back, find out. Go back and say, what type of spirit am I dealing with? Yeah. Is it a mute spirit? Is it a deaf spirit? Yeah. Is it epilepsy? What type of spirit am I dealing with? And how this spirit, or in my family, whenever it happens, this is the destruction it brings. It causes about to high blood pressure, it causes about to fail, it takes high. You know the destructive measure that this spirit in your life it brings. And at the same time, you go back and you find out how long has this been happening in my family? How long has it been happening in my life? Yes. And whole check it's not just with you only. Yeah. Whoever, it has been with them for too long. Yeah. Christ has scrutinized it, and this is the message that we are bringing back to say, go back and scrutinize the situation. There are issues that we can pray easily for and find solutions. Like Morena Jose, you go lay hands again and the sick will be healed. However, there are issues that are more complex. Yeah. And they require more to be resolved, especially when they have been there for a long time. That is why Jesus asked all these questions in order to identify the nature of the problem. He took his time. The main thing that he was trying to find out is that I want to find the nature. I want to scrutinize this so that when healing comes, I understand is it only on this child or it's on the generation, so that I stop. Amen. So that is the first thing that I'm asking, that we go back, scrutinize, identify the nature of the problem. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Amen. The second, I guess that was the first one. Yeah. Identify the nature of the problem, scrutinize it, find out what type of spirit are you dealing with, and then find out how long it has been. Find out what it is always in your life. When it manifests, what distraction does it bring? After you are finished, you go back to the story of Christ. How? I can remember when the disciples, they tried with this. It did not happen. So they went back to him and said, Why this one? Why this one where they experience it and a new one? Nothing changed. So Jesus is giving them the formula. That is the first formula. The second formula is giving them 3 powerful tools that they need to use when they deal with more deep and long-seated problems. So he's saying, you have identified the nature, you have found everything that has to do with that problem. Come back, I'm giving you 3 tools that always, when you are dealing with this complex situation, I need you always, at all times, use these 3 powerful tools. And then I guarantee you, because at the end of the day, when we read the scripture, we have seen how Jesus has healed the boy at the end of the day. So if Jesus did not heal the boy, then I would have a problem. So he's giving us a solution. He's giving us a solution to say, Eta 1, 2, 3, 4. When you do 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the result. And that's why we fail around him. We come, we get the teaching, we get what Christ is saying to us. But somehow we choose not to do what the Lord is saying to us. And we still get surprised for why are we not getting the results that we're supposed to get? So today we are dealing with complex situations. We are dealing with situations that are not high. What is Christ saying to us? What is the word of it's written for us, not just to be a nice book. Yeah. It's written for us as a manual to say, when you have this problem, this is what you must do. Yes. But the unfortunate thing, all of us, is that when Christ gives us a formula of a situation, when Christ gives us a formula of a particular thing, we just choose not to do it. And we're thinking, this thing does not work. Ask somebody that it has worked for her, that it has worked for him. So today we are saying, may we grasp the formula, may we grasp the things that Christ is saying to us. What are these 3 powerful tools that Christ is giving to us today? According to the book of Mark 9. Please go back home, because I can't make it again. We just have only 45 minutes. Go back home and read Mark 9, so that you can pick up everything that I'm saying. You can be able to pick it up one by one and be able to go through it as the guideline that I'm giving you. What is tool number 1 that Christ is giving us? He's saying the tool number 1 is faith. Yeah. When you are dealing with an issue, I want your faith. It's critical for me. Being God that I am, if you don't give me your faith, I don't know how to act with your situation. I don't know what to do with your situation. How do you prove that? Check out verse 19. He says, oh, faithless. The first thing, the father's boy, I explained at the situation. The first thing that Christ says to the disciples, he says, oh, faithless generation. He's basically saying to them, if you had faith, this situation was just going to be like this. And how do we know that they did not have faith? There are 3 types of faith that we are picking there, as according to the story. I'm trying to really go quick. According to this story, verse 19, oh, faithless generation, he was basically saying, why are you not acting confidently and boldly in the faith when you deal with such a complex situation? Why such a complex situation that you are faced with, you choose not to deal with faith? You choose not to approach it in faith. Because as who we are faith people. Amen. We don't work with what we see. Yes. We don't praise God when God gives us a car. Right. We praise God because we believe God is able to. Things don't get tangible to us as Christians first before we take a step. We believe that God is able. We believe that God can. We believe in His power. We believe in His ability. And in believing in that, we rest assured. So Christ is saying to them, there is a complex situation you are faced with, but you choose to be faithless people. When we understand, the Bible says in the book of Hebrews 11, I cannot teach because the teaching of faith itself, it's supposed to be a teaching, a subject on its own. But we're just going to go quickly through the 3 tools without going inside in terms of saying, what is faith, what is this, what is this? Just to show what Christ had to address. He had to address the issue of faith, because he's saying in the book of Hebrews 11, without faith it is impossible. God says, I am God, but who's not to men? It is impossible that you will please me. If you don't have faith, there is no way, no matter how much you can dance, no matter how much you can roll on the flesh, as long as you do whatever you're doing, you don't do it by faith. You don't please me. I cannot respond to you. The language of heaven, I feel clearly because I respond only to the language of faith. So faith is very important. Three types of faith that we are picking up on the scripture. We are picking up the faithless faith. Faithless faith. This is the type of faith that the disciples, they displayed before Jesus. That is why he said, oh, you faithless generation. In other words, he saw that they did not have faith. So we are just going through this type of faith. Yeah, the disciples, they were basically saying, we are just going through the motions because it is expected of us.
Yeah.
Remember, they are Christians again. Remember, they are with Jesus. So they are basically saying, we are just going through the motion because it is expected of us to be people of faith. But I think they did not have faith.
Sure.
So, you are a child of God. You know, when you start to say things, say what they have done, because we are expecting you to be a person of faith. So, they found themselves worried. We are just going through that motion. But we actually are not believing already. Can you really keep the situation? So they displayed a faithless faith. They are saying to Jesus, we know it will happen. But we are not doing it because, we are just doing it because we have to do it.
Yeah.
Because we are just expected. So that is not faith. That is why he said to them, oh faithless generation, oh faithless people. Why, when such a situation is so complex, you decide not to display faith? Because that's what I work on. So the type of faith that the disciples, they displayed, that most of us, when we are faced with a situation, is the faithless faith. The faith that we are just saying we are going through the motion of doing it, but handling them will not believe it. The second type of faith that we are picking up there is the doubting faith. The doubting faith, we pick it up, is the faith that I said, it's the faith that the Father displayed. What did the Father say? Verse 24. The Father says, I believe, help my unbelief. I believe, help my unbelief. Contradiction again. I call it a doubting faith. I believe, help my unbelief. This is a doubting faith because it has this question, will it really happen? I know you, Jesus. I know your ability. I know your power. I know you are God. I know in a twinkling of an eye things can happen. I believe, but with my what I believe no way you are able to. But with my situation, because it used to be on for a long time, I've got the issues there. I don't fully. I know you can, Lord. I know. I've got testimonies. I've seen people. I've seen you raising the dead. I've seen you. But with my situation, because it has been long, because it is complex, I believe, but please put my unbelief. So I am doubting. And the third faith that Christ is requiring and that we are picking up is the faith without limitation.
Amen.
The faith of Jesus Christ. The faith that Jesus is saying in verse 24. If you can believe, all things are possible. That's the faith that Christ is requiring on all of us. It's not requiring of us, how will he do it? Will he do it? Don't you understand? It's from generation to generation. He's basically saying, if you believe, all things are possible. If you trust me enough, things can be done for you. What is the first ingredient that Christ is requiring from us? Be people of faith. Have faith that has no limits. Have faith that trusts Christ beyond anything else. And hard. But when they display their faith, they are not exaggerated. Oh, he gets up too spiritual. Name certain things. But this is the person who say, look, I trust Christ with my life. I believe in him. I'm confident in his ability and in what have this type of faith that is without any limits. Because I believe on what Christ is able to do. Hallelujah.
Amen.
Faith without limitation. So that is the first truth that Christ is giving all of us today. When you deal with a complex situation, no matter how far it comes from, no matter how complex it is, no matter how long it has been in your life, the first thing when you respond to that situation, say, Lord, I believe you are able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that I can think of, above all that I can imagine. Lord, I know you can heal us as a family.
Oh, yes.
Lord, I know you can touch my finances, they can turn around. Lord, I know you can provide us with a house because we need a house. Lord, I know in your ability, I know in who you are. I trust not in chariots, I trust not in horsemen, I trust in you completely with my life. I put no limitation on you because you have just reminded us even today, silver and gold, they belong to you. So you get excited when you are confronted with a situation, not in your own ability, it has been there in your life for too long, in the ability of who Jesus Christ is. The one who is able to do all things. In the twinkle of an eye, Christ is able to do marvelous things in your life. Therefore, He's encouraging us today. You don't need to sit with that problem. Exchange it with the faith in my life. Amen. The second in a tool that He's giving us, He's saying, I need you to be people who are prayerful. I don't need you to come to me or no, Jesus, please. I need you to people who soak yourselves in prayer. This is not a new revelation what I'm teaching. It's just based on the scripture that we read. Those are the ingredients. The disciples. The disciples could not deal with the situation because they had not been prayerful. It does not mean that they were not praying at that particular. Remember, they were faced with a situation. Probably they prayed. But it's not that at that particular situation they did not pray, but they were not prayerful people. So in the secret place, there were not people who sit in prayer. So that is why when a complex situation like that, they don't know what to do. We have to realize that we cannot just pray about a problem when it springs up and expect to be effective. We need to have a prayerful lifestyle. You have to pray when all things are working well in your life. But these are simple formulas that we know. Me and you will know. Me and you, we understand as Christians. I cannot live as a Christian. It's not really prayerful. But only tendency that the devil helps us in. When things are going well in our lives, the only tendency of sprouting out of our bed and say, Jesus, I'm going to work, please make sure. Or 1, 2, 3, 4 is done for me. Amen. The whole day goes. The following day, the same thing. Jesus, Lord, I am going to work, come back with me. And Christ says, it won't work. It won't work because you don't understand the things that you're going to meet in your life. You don't understand the generational things that you are dealing with. You don't understand how complex things are in your life. Therefore, the formula that I need you to use, I need you to sit in my presence in prayer. I need you to have a prayerful lifestyle. We cannot emphasize enough the teaching of prayer. But somehow, I don't have to come to your bedroom. I don't have to know your private life. Certain things of the results that we are getting in our lives, it just shows we are not praying. No. If Christ can be so confident enough to show us what will happen, certain things will happen. Some of us, certain things in our lives will change. I'm telling you the honest facts. But because we don't prioritize prayer, because we don't make prayer to be a lifestyle, because we don't sit and say, busy as I can be, I will dedicate it. Modena in his way, he's asking for an hour. We know we can stretch it. We know we can do much, but he's asking for, some of us, we're not even spending 2 minutes with him. But somehow we expect him to do great and marvelous things and powerful things and unspeakable things in our lives. We want him to change us. We want him to touch spend time with me, because it is in you spending time with me that there are certain things that I'm going to reveal to you that under normal circumstances you wouldn't have known them. And those things, all of us we know, they get revealed at the place of prayer. We can give testimonies and testimonies of what God brings into our lives. If we become prayerful people. There's a story that I heard of this lady who said she's a preacher. She said there was a time that it was a conference I had to go and preach. So at the time that I'm supposed to go and preach, 2 days before, the Lord places in my heart to say, I need you to pray. According to her, it's kind of like, Lord, I've prayed for the conference, I know, right? But the Spirit of God was urging her over and over again. I just need you to go into a deeper kind of prayer. She did not know why, she did not know what. Nothing was revealed, but there was that urge to say, go to an extended prayer. And thank God that she obeyed. And she said, I went to the conference, I preached, everything went normal, everything went as I prepared, to a point that she ended up saying, Lord, I thought you were going to say something a bit spectacular. The way that you were urging me to pray, I thought it is during that conference you're going to say certain things. And the Lord did not say anything. And then she went back home, a day passed. The following day, Yana, she's a preacher, the husband is more of an assistant. So she gets a call, at 1 o'clock. She gets a call, and the call, the husband, she can overhear the husband trying to negotiate with this person. Is in the middle of the night. How do you know this person? Da, 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 da. And when the husband is trying to negotiate, that the Spirit of God says, go to the phone. The person who's on the phone is for the prayer that I asked you to pray for. You will understand. When she goes there, this woman says, I don't know you, I know you through somebody who referred me to you. And I'm about to kill myself today. But something in me tells me that if I talk to you, something will change. And then she said in the tape, she said about 2 hours counseling the lady, and the end of the lady, the day the lady was born again, no suicide to be committed, nothing. And it was at that time when she finished, she said, oh Lord and behold, if I did not hearken to the spirit of prayer that the Spirit of the Lord brought, what would have happened? What would have happened? Because I wouldn't have known what to say. I wouldn't have known how to react. In any way, I don't know this lady. But at that particular time, when I just was with her on the phone, I knew what to say. I knew how to say it. And at the end of the day, the lady was born again, filled with the Spirit on the phone, and her life was changed. And later on in life, when they met, when she gave her testimony, it was then that she said, when the Spirit of God hearkens you to do certain things, may you just respond. May you respond. And this is the call that Christ is bringing us today. Please live a prayerful life. It will be a teaching on its own to say, what does prayer do? May we live a prayerful life. My time is up. The last tool that Christ is giving us, according to the scripture, he's saying, I need you not to give me just your faith and your prayer, but I need your prayer to be coupled with fasting. He's saying it's because the situation is complex. It's not just that type where you say, in the name of Jesus be healed, like they used to do the book of Luke 10. He's saying, because this is complex, give me your faith, give me a prayer lifestyle, but couple that with fasting. Do that, approach that with fasting. Prayer helps you to access God's power. So if you fast without prayer, you are sensitive to the Spirit. But you are doing nothing about the spiritual antennas that are open. So Christ is saying, I need you to couple your prayer with fasting, because he's asking at the last scripture 29. He's saying, give this scripture 7. I think Ori, this kind, meaning this complex one, it can only go by prayer and fasting coupled with your faith. Amen. So it is like when we connect, I wanted to do a demonstration of some sort, but it's late.
Take your time.
Thank you so much. Baba, yes, don't say that. When you fast, you must pray because it is prayer that links you to the supernatural.
Yeah.
When you fast, don't fast and leave it there.
Sure.
Fast and pray. That is why when I say this kind, it goes through prayer and fasting. Because when you fast, your spiritual antennas, you have seen like you have fasted not long. When you fast, your spiritual antennas, they are open. You are able to pick up things that under normal circumstances, you are not able to pick them up. And some of you can give a testimony to say, at that time when you fasted, it was easy for me to hear God. It was easy for me to pick up things. It was easy for me to see certain things. So fasting opens your spiritual antennas. But prayer makes that spiritual antennas give you the power of God. So if you fast, you become open and prone to the spiritual life. When you are fasting, please hear me. When you are fasting, you become open and you become clear of what is not happening in the natural, of what is happening in the spiritual. But if you end up there, the danger is you may pick up even wrong spirits and think it is the Spirit of God. You may speak things and think it is the Spirit of God, but it's not. But if you couple that, when your spiritual antenna is open, when you couple that with prayer, you are attracting the power of God and you know what is right and what is wrong. So the demonstration that I wanted to do, I'll just read it. When you connect a cable to a power source, when you connect a power cable to a power source, that is fasting. The cable. Hey, like this is just a cable. It's nothing else. It's just a cable. Thank you. It's just a cable. It's. We know its power, its ability, because at the end of the day, hey, this people, something will go right there. So this power cable, get fasting now. If you have the right cable, which is the right cable, but you do not switch it on, you don't plug it there. You don't plug it there. Where's the thing? You don't take this thing away, plug there. You can have the right cable, but should you not plug it there, put it there, and put the switch on? Power does not come here.
Right.
Hey, you saw in the one. I put it in because it's a cable that we need to connect the instrument. It's the right tool. It's the right tool. Hey, these people, Taba won't be able to do what it's supposed to do. It's the right thing. But should you not plug it to the power there? Should you not plug this thing to the power and switch on? Nothing comes here. Power This power that you have plugged there and switched on, this is prayer.
Sure. Amen.
Amen. This is power. And if you do not have any gadget that the power is powering, although there is power flowing, there is power that is, we have the right cable, we have plugged it on, we have switched on, power is flowing. But I don't gadget. I don't get it. There's nothing. The right power is flowing on, the right cable is there. What do I want to achieve with this? What at the end of the day, it don't give like a thing. There must be a gadget. So if I take this, which is the right cable, which is my fasting, I put it on the plug, I switch on. I'm allowing the right power to flow in the cable. But this, give something, give a gadget, give where this power should go to. And this is my faith.
Sure.
So, Christ is saying, I need you to use the three. How said he said, listen, faith on its own. I said it's because you have a kettle that does not have the cable and the power. You have the fasting, but you did not switch on, though you have put the kettle on, but you did not plug on there. And then he's saying, take this, plug it in, switch it on, put the kettle, and the magic happens. It's like automatic. All of a sudden, the and then we are getting the results of what we want. So, how do you deal with complex situations? He is saying to you, take faith, which is a gadget, take prayer, take fasting, which is your cable, and take prayer, which is your power. As you couple the three of them, they will give you. It's no magic.
Yeah.
It's no secret. It does not work to certain people. God is not a respecter of people. God does not look at Nolan and say, Kifriva Nolan. God does not look at me and say, I know she's my servant. No. God looks at the tools that are using in He says, are you using the right tools? If you are using them, then you have not to worry. Sleep. Your kettle will boil.
Amen.
I cannot emphasize that enough. I wish sometimes, the life of faith, sometimes we put up for it, Lord, why can't people? Remember that God has just anointed us to deliver the message, to preach the gospel. But if we preach and we do nothing about this gospel, it is of no effect to us. It is of no power. May we go back home, identify the nature of the problem, scrutinize it, find that spirit that is happening, find out how long this has been. Take the three tools that is giving you, which is faith, which is prayer, which is fasting, and see if how will you test it then. Test it for your life and say, let me see if what Christ has said, it will work for not other people, just me. Can it work in my life? Can it work in the situation making a new? Can it work in the things that I go through? If I use everything that Christ has said, and if it does not work, I go back to him and say, why formula how is it? Because you said, I'm using your formula, it is not working for me. Are you a respecter of people? He said, come, let's reason together. Come, let's contact together. Let's speak about the matter. He's bold enough to say, who are they in my head? Let me understand why your house has a because I don't look at faces. I don't buy faces. I'm not saying that one is a pastor, that one is whatever. I'm looking at my principle and I can bet on it that it works.
Amen. Yes, Lord. Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
This is all I believe that it has been in my heart, and it's been a teaching that I got excited on my own when I went through it. And I'm asking you as we read about Cathedral, if we want to see our impact, even where we are, there is no way that we can make it without a prayer lifestyle, without fasting, without releasing our faith.
Yeah.
It's a shame. And I'm going to say it because it's a shame that we are living in a community and some of them, they don't even know there's a church. They don't even know there's a church. We don't have to sing well for them to hear us. We have to use the formula. We have to call them in prayer. We have to fast for them and say, Morena, we can't be here in Midrand. And however it's impossible because morning day, miracles happen.
Yes, Lord.
You cannot sit in your family. You cannot be in the family of Moyon. And they are experiencing the same problems. And nothing happens. It's impossible. It's impossible. Things have to kick out. Things have to change. You cannot sit with a problem for too long. You cannot sit and say, Morena wants it. Morena, I'm holy. It impacts your life. You need money. You need certain things to progress. We will have a problem if a child, if Asipe, when it wasn't long, everybody just got a baby. Today, Asipe is walking. What progress? We will have a problem if Asipe, after a year, she's not even trying to walk. That is basically what we are saying. We will have a problem for it. Why didn't you a change in my life? Why am I the way in that day? And I keep on going to church, I keep on giving, I keep on doing this and that. But to tell the truth, things are not just right in my life. Can you test it with your life? Can you test it at your workplace? Can you test it with your finances? Can you test it with the complex situations in your life that you know they have been there? They are not failure. They are in your family. In the name of Jesus. Amen. God is good. God is wonderful. We thank Him for His word. We thank Him that His word works for all of us. We thank Him that He does not look at us as but by saying from a rich family. Therefore, certain things will happen. He looks at His word. He honors His word. He's basically saying to us, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall forever remain. So He has given us His word. Can we go back home, take the word, apply it in our lives and see if it cannot work? Please, if you can rise, we will close the service. Hallelujah.